I saw Tiffany TV's video on how to rebuild self-trust by rebuilding the relationship that you have with yourself. And I thought she did such a good job in explaining her story that I thought I should share mine because I'm sure there is somebody out there that would be helped by hearing my perspective and my story. Hey, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Sharice, and this is Spirit Soul Sense Information for Your Soul. I help Black men and women heal from trauma and toxic relationships. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel so that I can keep growing on YouTube. I have three major points that I wanted to cover in this video, but I wanted to highlight the fact that we hear the terms self-care and self-love all the time on social media, but I think it's really important to view the word self-love as an act of loving yourself, and that it's not always the glitz and glamour that you see on social media where people are taking bubble baths and getting their nails done and buying, expensive luxury products or services. Self-love is really about the action word love. Doing the things to love on yourself. What are those things? And they're different for everybody. But for most people, and probably if you're watching this video, self-love is about doing the work, the hard work, the difficult things, the things that aren't, fun in the moment, but are going to help you in the long term. Because part of what you need to do is heal to get to where you want to go, to rebuild that trust in yourself. This is why I use all these self terms in the title of my video, because all the subcategories of self-love are necessary for you to actually embody the energy of love and make the decisions in your life that are going to be helpful. You have to respect yourself. You have to trust yourself. You have to give yourself compassion, and you have to do the acts of care in order to take care of your own self. So my first point is discipline, giving yourself grace, and finding that balance. Everything that I'm talking about is really interconnected. It's sort of part of being in Earth School. It's mind, body, soul. All of these things are connected. So I have multiple points under each, but you really can't have one without the other. Discipline without balance looks like self-punishment. There are some people, I'm not going to name any names, but there are some people on the internet right now who are punishing themselves. They are extremely disciplined. They've taken it to, the opposite end of the spectrum from lazy, and I'm not really sure they're enjoying their life. So I think the finding balance is really important. Some of my backstory is I grew up on a tiny island in the Caribbean, St. Croix, if you haven't seen my, my trailer video for my channel. And so I have Caribbean parents, if you know what that means. I grew up very structured. I would say strict, but not very strict. So I had a lot of habits that were ingrained in me because my parents modeled them very well. I would say the problem, right? Because I'm like former perfectionist, procrastinator. I still procrastinate a little bit, but not like, listen, I used to be that person doing the report on the day. I used to be the person, writing that paper on the day it was due and passing. So then it was like, why am I doing this to myself? All of this had to figure out, had to do on my own healing journey. But the problem, I would say, started when I put my mother on a pedestal. I'm not sure at what point I did. I've done healing work, with my healer. I've done a video with my healer also. If you're interested, I'll put it in the description box, where I explored like this idea that my mother was perfect. Growing up, I just felt like she was the embodiment of Jesus Christ, as in she was moving in a Christ-like manner. And my mother is amazing, wonderful, beautiful woman. And she embodies like what Christianity says you're supposed to be as a human, not what these crazy people doing in, trying to make all these laws to combat people and come against them with hate. My mother is so beautiful and so wonderful, right? So growing up, I was like, oh my God, I can never be like that. Let me try to be as perfect as I can be. Mix that with growing up in the church and the dogma of the church, right? Nothing inherently wrong with religion or the church, but it's run by people. And so then people sprinkle their toxic sauce on top of it. And together I was just like, oh, I have to do things in a certain way. I just have to do things in a certain way. Things have to go the way I see them in my mind, or else I'm going to be a mess. The thing that I'm going to do is a mess. I'm not going to be good enough, right? A lot of what humans here on earth experiences this feeling of being too much or not being enough. And that's why it's so important to find balance. But discipline is really the doing something when you don't feel like it. Are you still able to do the thing that you should be doing, that would benefit you in the long term, even though you don't feel like doing it in the moment? And as a moody teenager, listen, I'm thinking about doing a video about, I put this in one of my posts, I think it's coming up, about being a highly sensitive person, being an empath, being bittersweet, being an awkward Black girl, right? This is how I came into the world. This wasn't just experiences. No, I kind of came into the world that way, filtered the world through this experience. And so as a teenager, good grief, when I realized, I think maybe after I started having my period, like the hormones of it all, I became so moody. And even now as an adult, I still be getting in my feelings. Like things will trigger me that I thought I had already dealt with. And then I'm just compounding. I shouldn't be triggered by this. Why am I being triggered by this? Oh, I know what to do. Let me do all the meditation, all the things. I'm still right. So like I have when I tell you I have all the feelings, right? I'm one of those people that cry at the commercials. I have all the feelings. So when I don't feel like doing something, right? That's the point I'm making. When I don't feel like doing something, I really check in with myself because I know that there are things in the world that affect me in a different way. And I understand that self-love is not just about getting the things done, right? I know that discipline is not going to be 100% perfect because I am human and I'm not 100% perfect. I know that I have to give myself grace, right? So it's about finding the balance. So I'm going to talk about routines next, but it's important that I take stock of my outcomes. Like, am I achieving the things that I really want to in life? Sure answer is yes, right? But how am I doing those things? And what are things that get in the way of me doing them? And if part of it is feelings, I need to find out what is triggering this feeling. Is this a sign that I need to rest? Right? So we can talk about like last year, October, I went running every day. I'm thinking about doing it again. And I did it. I literally did it every day. There was one day when I didn't do it because I think it's super important. I've never had an injury in my life. No injury on my body from exercise, right? I listen to my body. So when my legs were hurting so bad that I'm like, I might pull a muscle if I run today. I didn't, but I literally ran every other day. But when I don't feel like doing something, I ask myself, is this about rest? Is this about something that I need to process? Do I need to pause? Do I need to move slower? It's not just an automatic self-loathing thought, right? I used to have those. Thank God for therapy. It's not just an automatic me being mean to myself, me shaming myself into doing something. It is me checking in with myself. What do I need in this moment? What is blocking me from doing this thing that's really important to me? It may mean that I need to prioritize different things, or it may mean that I need to take a break and have fun. I might need to be, having community with somebody else or my family, or, just relaxing or cooking, right? All the things, whatever it is for you that makes you feel good in that moment. It might not be that you lack discipline. It might mean that you're in the middle of a transformation or accomplishing or needing to prioritize something different, that this is not a goal for you right now. My second point is, what is my why? So in those moments when I am feeling the feelings of whatever it is, laziness, I'm a Taurus, or procrastination, right? Because I'm distracted by something else. So let's say it's not that I really need to rest. Let's say it's not that I need to prioritize something else. Let's just say I'm in my feelings. But this is a thing that's really important for me to do. For example, I quit my job, but I used to do psychological reports. It's like, I don't know, my expertise as a psychologist. But doing psychological reports, part of doing them is very time consuming, very detail oriented. And I would be wanting to do other things. Girl, I want to do other things. I want to go outside. I want to frolic. I want to do nothing. I want to spend 3 hours in the kitchen baking and cooking something. All these things I want to do. But the report is very important to get done because of my why. It's not just about the job. It's not just about the money. Like, those things are important for me to, I don't really have a supervisor, but for me to be accountable to the people who are waiting for this report. And the most important one is to be providing a quality service to my clients. It's super important to me to help, right? I've known since junior high school that I wanted to be in a profession that helped people. I knew since I was 16 years old that I wanted to be a psychologist. The reason behind that is mental health is my passion. Being a psychologist is all I've ever wanted to be. And so if these things are true for me, right? If I know my why is I want to provide the best quality service possible to people who need it the most. So I want to get it done, right? The why reminds me why this is important to me and how valuable it's going to be to the person who's waiting for me to get it done. Then it's not just about me and my feelings, right? Then I remember, oh yeah, the motivation comes back. And I remember that this is not something I have to do. This is not something that's getting in the way of my life. This is a very important part of my life, and I get to do it. I know, I remind myself, I know how many people applied to grad school and didn't get in. I know how many people got in and then weren't able to finish for whatever reason, got kicked out or life, all the things happening. I know how much of a blessing it is for me to be living the life of my dreams. So in those moments when I'm like, gosh, darn it, I have another report I have to write. I'm just like, remember my why. And that is how I'm able to get some things done in my life. And my last point is about routines and daily routines. I say routines because they are things I don't do every day, but are part of like the weekly routine, part of the monthly routine. I think I have a video on routines. You can check in the description box. I have a video on routines. So part of what I do is a monthly routine. I have a whiteboard that has, I write in the calendar dates and the things that I need to do, the events that I'm going to go to, anything that's important for my son. I have a 16-year-old. And then I write a quote that embodies the theme of what I feel the month is. I don't know. I'm always inspired by something. And so I pick a quote based on that. That's the monthly routine. I have a weekly routine. On Sundays, I write down hour by hour what I'm going to be doing for the week from like 7 to 4. I already know, like, my schedule is pretty set in stone with my son's schedule from like 4 to 7-ish. So it's a lot of the same things. But the in-betweens of what the days look like, I do an hour by hour. This is something that I think has saved my life and has helped me be as productive as I am because, right, coming from my parents who, had us pretty regimented even during the summer. My mother's a teacher, so she's off in the summers. Having that, schedule of this is what we're going to do now, this is what we're going to do next, here's when your break time is going to be, here's when your fun time is going to be. I include all of those things in my schedule. And I actually have a planner because I think what you do today, tomorrow, yesterday, those are the spaces where your life transforms. So I have a schedule planner, or how to plan a schedule. Gosh, I forget what it is. How to plan a schedule in my description box. That's just a free download. So you can start, making that routine a part of your life. Like, it's just planning what you're going to do is just a part of your life, right? Denzel Washington says, if you don't plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I think this is important. So I am very thankful that I grew up in a house that ran on schedules and we knew what was coming next because I've brought that into my adult life and it's really helped me such that when I'm procrastinating, it's so very obvious and glaring that the thing on my to-do list hasn't gotten done the day after the day after the day, right? And then I hold myself accountable. I have a whole other point on like not liking accountability partners. I love mentors, love professors, love coaches, but something about a peer-to-peer accountability partner, I just like, I don't like. Like, I would rather build the self-trust on my own, but I understand that there are some people, right? Maybe you didn't come into this world as a highly sensitive person. Like, maybe you're more extroverted than introverted. So like, it's really helpful for you to lean on other people for that support to help you get things done. No shame in the game. I think we're all different for a reason. And so whatever helps you the most, I think is what you should do. But I think having a daily schedule and a really robust morning routine are the things that get you to where you want to go in life. And then having that to-do list where you're really accountable to how you're spending your time also shows you how are you maintaining your boundaries with other people. Because if you're like me, we all need a selfish season. There's a point in our life where we were just giving. And we needed to pour into ourselves. When you are able to pay attention to, hey, what are you doing at this time? Did you not do this thing because you were doing something else for somebody else who is a taker, who's an energy vampire? You then acknowledge that there are some times when you need to say no to other people and to create and maintain boundaries that are going to help you get to where you want to go. I am sure that if you do all of these things, you will be able to rebuild your self-trust. You'll become a person of integrity, not just to other people, but to yourself. You will be impeccable with your word, right? Word to the 4 agreements. And you will get the outcomes that you want in life as your soul continues to evolve. Let me know what you think in the comments if you have any questions. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.